Guys, Bob here for Tuesday Night Live. Thank you for joining us. We love all of the support you give us. On tonight's show, we have another returning featured guest who is fresh off his travels to Italy for the prestigious Milanica, the world's largest fabric show comprised of 750,000 square feet with over 6,500 fabric vendors. And he was there searching for the finest fabrics for the Santa's Tailor line. Also, he will be talking about the exciting news from Michigan's Santa Expo vendors and attendees in Midland, Michigan, set for October 9th through the 12th. This is the opening of Tuesday Night Live, and it is brought to you by North Pole Cornerstones, a new, unique, and entertaining educational experience. Again, this is Tuesday Night Live. Well, normally at this point, I would be introducing our sidekick, the gentleman who has convinced us all to go down to Florida this next week for a big celebration of Carol and I's 50th wedding anniversary. But he just got in after 14 hours on the road, coming in from Michigan, the Red Suit gathering this weekend that the Maps folks had. So he went straight to the hotel. Going to call it a night. So we've got my sidekick, the one and the only Scott Saratine from Edmond, Oklahoma, with us tonight. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Bob. How's it doing over there in Texas? Hey, you got any bad weather from that hurricane yet?
No, thank goodness it all went east. But all that left us was hot, hot, hot. So,
well, we got the humidity.
Yeah, the hot, the humidity, and of course now they're calling for like 106 tomorrow here in the DFW Metroplex. So, after that, though, we do have a chance for a little bit of a cool down. So we're looking towards that cool down, but time that we leave to head to Florida. So, are you excited about Florida?
I'm so excited I can't even stand myself.
I hear you.
Trying to figure out. I can't find my Speedo.
Well, I tried to order one for you in Spangle today because Randy mentioned yesterday about you guys wearing a Speedo. So, I couldn't find anything that was appropriate. They were all G-string Speedos, and I don't know about that.
Is that the new style now?
That's the new style. That's all you can find on all the sides.
I got one of those 1960 ones, that's real wide and real big. But the thing about it is, if I find it, I'm afraid I'm going to wear it on one leg, and I don't know if our audience is ready for that.
I hear that. You know what Jetta Clown always says? Lord help us.
She's got a point. And to see Spangle with one of those, oh my God, we should give him the little, what do you call it?
G-string one, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what do they call it? Dental floss.
I think that's the nickname it has, and I'll tell you what, sometimes dental floss is thicker than they are.
Well, I'm going to leave that alone. Let's move on.
Yeah, before we do move on, I want to say hi to our producer, everyone's favorite member of our team, my lovely daughter, Angela Mack.
Hey,
if you will, over in the chats. She says hello to everyone. All right, I got a great idea. If you have missed any of the Tuesday Night Live or the Bob Randall and Company live shows, we both got a channel over on YouTube. Bob and Randall has its own channel, and Tuesday Night Live has its own channel. And guys, we appreciate it if you go over and throw up a subscribe, maybe a comment or a like. Thanks to those who subscribed yesterday. I don't know if it's someone in the Santa community or someone just out in the YouTube world, but got 5 subscriptions yesterday on the TNL channel and picked up a couple on the Monday show. So it's growing at a slow snail's pace, but we're getting there.
Well, Bob, let's not forget they can also go over on YouTube and subscribe and like the Kringle Time as well with the Kringle Brothers on Wednesday night. You don't want to miss that as well.
That's exactly right. They have their own channel over there, the Kringle Brothers. Just go check them out. Can't miss them. And they got a great show coming up this next week. Everybody probably wants to catch that one too tomorrow night because it's going to be a great show. Okay, so the first half of the Tuesday night show is always sponsored or brought to you by School of Santas. This year, we've already jumped past the midway season. We got 24 behind us. Now we're talking about 25 already. That's hosted by Spangle over there in picturesque Branson, Missouri, the Ozark Mountains, where fun and education meets.
Read about it reporting for TNL Chatterbox News. School of Santas 2025 will be held July 17th through the 20th in beautiful, picturesque Branson, Missouri, right in the heart of the Ozark Mountains. If you've been before, then you know all about the 4 days of festivities that School of Santas is best known for. Each year, the host facility, Americ Inn by Wyndham, Branson, and Conference Center, is home to over 100 clauses for the weekend and is centrally located in the middle of everything Branson. If you have never attended SOS, what are you waiting for? You are missing out on one of the Claus community's premier educational opportunities. For more information on price and to ensure your place at the next School of Santas, contact Tanya Lay at Branson Ticket and travel today at 800-432-4202. Again, that's 800-432-4202 and get registered today. I'm Read About It reporting. Now back over to you guys in the TNL studio.
All right, so while Angela puts the trivia question up on the bottom of the screen, let's tell everyone about this coming up Tuesday. That'll be next week. We will be in Navarro Beach, Florida, for like 4.5, 5 days, whatever it's going to be. And what did you come up with for that show?
Well, we are going on we want you to go with us, and it's going to be your staycation. You stay at home and go on vacation with us. I think you'll have a ball. We're going to do cut-ins all during the whole 4 days we're there, and we're going to broadcast Tuesday Night Live. If we can find our Speedos right from the beach on Tuesday night. So you might want to miss it, but we ask that you just peek in and join us anyhow.
That's right. It's going to be fun. It's a beautiful, beautiful setting. Spangle and Joe went down there last year and stayed at this particular hotel, and this comes highly recommended by them. He tells me this is his favorite place he's ever stayed. So can't wait to get down there. Going to be a ton of fun. They got that pure white sugar sand, as they call it, the really fine sand that
It's like Destin.
It's right next door to Destin. So the difference in Destin, though, Scott, and Navarro Beach, which is, like I say, just a couple of miles between the two of them, Destin is more of a destination. Folks seem to travel there more. Navarro Beach is more, not really secluded, but not quite as well known.
That's what Spangle was saying. Is I think he says that's where the stars stay, the TNL network stars.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so the trivia question's been up on the bottom of the screen now while we chatted. So go ahead and read it to them, Scott.
During the film's development period, the project went through a variety of titles before landing on Miracle on 34th Street. Name the 3 alternate titles they considered. Now, now that they're working on that, get those fingers going. And but I was just curious. Another little thing that I noticed is that we have acquired a new reporter. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, Rita, she came on board. We found her in Branson, actually.
Well, that's true. We met her in Branson.
And we decided to bring her on. Now, that doesn't mean that Noah Lott's, out. He's just taking a little bit of time off. He's going to come back and do some reporting for us also. But Rita, she talks a little bit faster than Noah, so she gets the job done and gets it done quick.
Well, she's done a good job, and I'm so glad that we've got those 2 on board now. So it's been a lot of fun. Let's read this one more time. During the film's development period, the project went through a variety of titles before landing on Miracle on 34th Street. Name the 3 alternative titles that were considered or was considered.
Me with my was's and wers, how I get them. Scott's always trying to correct me on that one, and I don't listen. So
I don't know if I read it right or wrong.
You read it right.
Okay.
No, wrong. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started here.
Okay. Well, I guess it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Well, let's get started tonight's show by introducing our featured guest. He joins us tonight from across town from Bob. Across town from Bob. Yeah, that's right. He's in DeSoto, Texas. and he's been known to travel an extra mile out of his way to find the finest fabrics and furs to bring you bespoke Christmas clothing. Tonight, we'll cover fabrics, furs, and talk about Santa's Tailor extensive patterns and suit combinations, as well as the Michigan Santa Expo. Let's give tonight's featured guest the biggest TNL welcome, Santa Tailor, Mr. Bill Dendy.
Well, hi there, everybody. And man, it has been an exciting year so far. To recap my trip out to Italy, it was the plan was to do 10 days in Rome and 4 days in Milan. The Milan's where the fabric show was. Rome was, hey, let's do vacation with the wife. And immediately upon arrival, I came down with a cold. And so I laid on my back in the bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling miserable, while my wife had a really nice Rome vacation. Now, the little bit of it I did get to see, it was 95 degrees with 95% humidity. And I will tell you that the Italians have a very, very different idea of air conditioning than what we have here. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is one thing you can say about the United States is we believe in our fans and our air conditioners, and they got to work, or we're on the phone with the technician saying, "Come fix this thing." I don't know how, and I've said this before. I don't know how the folks who traveled from the East Coast to the West Coast over months and months during summer, winter, fall to get to the West Coast in covered wagons did it. I don't know how they done it.
It wasn't easy.
It couldn't have been easy about it at all.
Yeah.
Okay, brother, we've had you on a number of times, but tonight you got some new, really cool stuff to share with us. So let's talk. What's new and exciting at Santa's Tailor?
Well, about 3 years ago, I embarked on this project because I realized that with our extremely talented bespoke seamstresses that I have working here, that the production, what we were able to do in any given year was extremely limited. And I wanted to be able to make a really super high quality Santa suit available in a much wider audience. So I started on this project of hiring, super talented pattern designers, people that work for the big firms, to take the Santa suit patterns and incorporate those into computerized patterns. And when we rolled out we rolled it out last fall, and when we rolled out the system last fall, we had 30 sizes for Santa suits, and we flipped the switch on that production on the 7th or 8th of November. And by Thanksgiving, in 11 days, we had produced 58 suits. And I've got a video that we'll show in just a moment here about the production facility that I have that is a one of a kind in the world. That after we did that initial rollout, at the beginning of the year, I stopped and said, that was really good, but we can actually make this really great. And so when we rolled out last fall, we had the Cola jacket was available in 30 sizes, and the pants were available in 30 sizes. Currently, the jacket is available in 495 different sizes, and the pants are available in 184, I believe, different sizes. Size variations on that. So we can just dial that in. And currently our production time is running about 3 weeks from when we get the measurement to when it's ready to ship. The switch is flipped and we are rocking and rolling and producing.
Is that my turn, Bob, or is it yours?
Well, actually, Angie's going to put up a holiday recap video, I think, real quick. Let's play it first, and then we'll come right back.
Yeah, right before we jump into that, though, and I'll tell you what to watch for in this thing. It's only 22 seconds long, so you're going to get this thing really quick. But the first time I went to the facility, I thought I was on a Star Wars battle cruiser with all these little droids running around carrying stuff. And so you'll see the little robots in there. You'll see for about a half a second, you'll see the big computerized controlled cutting table where the fabric gets rolled out and the computer cuts all the pieces out. And then the extremely talented sewers, the production sewers and all that stuff that make this magic happen. So yeah, let's roll the little 23
Ready?
second
Okay,
video.
let's roll it, Angie. Well, that's quick. You know those animated little carts running around like that, Bill? First time I saw that was at a food distribution center that I went to, and I was freaked out. Them little things coming at you and lights blinking, and we back in Branson when we went to Wispangle to buy all the food for the School of Santas. We was at the Sam's Club, and they got these little robots that run around cleaning the floor, and they got horns on them, and they're beeping, and I mean, they'll come right up to you within a foot and stop and wait for you to move, and then they go on. So that's kind of cool, the animation, that they're starting to build into factories like this.
Well, one of the things about those little robots, like when they pick up something, I'll tell you a little bit about the high tech process. Say they cut out a pair of sleeves for one of my jackets. They'll put those sleeves in one of those yellow bins, and they push a button, and the system will alert a robot to come pick it up and take it to a sewer. Well, when the robot loads that bin on its head, it asks the computer system 3 questions. The first question it asks is, how many of the sewing machines are currently threaded in the red thread in the color that Bill needs for his Santa jacket? The second question it asks is, how many of the sewers on those machines are rated to do this particular type of seam? And then the third question it asks is, what is the current workload on each of those stations, so it can take it to the one that can get to it the fastest. And it asks those same 3 questions 7 times every second as it's traveling across this 50,000 square foot facility. The technology harnessed, and that's why we can take an order and have a suit delivered in 3 weeks.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And just think, we're just in the beginning of this type of development, and in 20, 30, 50 years from now, what's it going to be like? I mean, it boggles the mind.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, is that in Dallas?
Huh?
Is that
no? It's in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
So but we still do all our bespoke production here in Dallas, and we do all our fur production here in Dallas.
Okay. Well, let's move on to your.
Hang on, Scott. Before we move on, let me address the trivia question real quick. The 3 alternative titles that was considered, we're talking about the original Edmund Gwen version of Miracle on 34th Street. If that helps everyone out, should be pretty straightforward. All right, go ahead.
You messed me up.
Sorry.
Let's move on to your future developments. But first, let's run this. We've already run the short video, and on the backside, you can explain exactly what you watched. So we've already watched it. So
we'll watch that one.
And we got another one, right?
Yeah, we got quite a few videos now. Bill's on the scene. He's got all kinds of cool stuff to share.
Well, I think I might I sent some photographs, and I think you might have put it into a little montage about what I got to see at the fabric show.
Okay, that's exactly right. Put them along with a long laundry list of fabrics you were looking for. Was the trip a total success? And let's run the video of you being there, and then you can answer that, Bill.
Okay. Well, on the part of the expectations, what I was hoping to find when I went out there was that the two outer fabrics that I use the most now are my 100% wool, which is about 10 ounces to 10 and a half ounces per square yard, and then my wool cashmere blend, which is about 13 to 13 and a half ounces per square yard. And I was hoping to find somebody that was making a cashmere fabric in the same weight as the wool fabric that I'm using now. So I'd have a lighter weight cashmere to be able to work with. And hopefully, if somebody was making that fabric, that they would also be making it in a color that I could use. And what I found when I got there was that at the level that I purchase, at the quantities that I now purchase fabric in, they will actually make that fabric to my specifications in terms of weight and weave, and they will make it to the color that I select. I send them the Pantone International Colors number for that shade, and they'll dial it in and do that. And so that was a huge success. One of the fabrics that you saw in that picture, in those pictures that were scrolling through, it looked like a bunch of red velvet piled up on a table. Yeah. And one of the items that I had on my list was that I wanted to find a fabric to start working with maybe next year in terms of Mrs. Claus clothing, but it had to meet certain criteria. And that criteria being, I wanted something that looked like velvet, but wasn't hot like velvet, that had a weave and a fabric content that was very, very breathable, but still had a great feel, what we call a hand of the fabric, how it feels under your hand. It had to look good for photos, and it had to drape correctly. I mean, so there's a lot of stuff that went into it. And I found this particular fabric there, and we piled it up on a table and took a picture of it. And it does, and it meets all of those. And so, I'm kind of tired of seeing, Mrs. Claus's suffering wearing these 15-pound dresses that are, of materials that don't breathe. And so that was one of those things that, I was really, really happy with. I'll probably be placing an order for at least the first run of that fabric. Again, that's one of those where I specify the color, they'll dial it in and make it and send it to me. And I'll be bringing that over during the first quarter of next year, so I can start experimenting with it and develop that line out. So that was really exciting. And then too, there were things in the fur. I took a picture of that funky dress that was there that had all those ribbons, the trim ribbons with the spools. And and my thinking on that was like, hey, wouldn't that be kind of a fun little dress to have for a Mrs. Claus, but instead of trim ribbons, those are the packing ribbons for packages that would be hanging down, and doing that in kind of a Christmassy color combo there. It'd be probably kind of awkward to walk around with all those things jangling around, but it would be a really cool presentation or something to use when you're out walking.
Yeah, it definitely would.
Yeah, or even have those ribbons and spools attached to a belt or something like that on there. It's just like, oh, this is for fast wrapping presents. But anyway, just I threw it in there because it amused me, and I snapped a photo. It was a really, really great experience. And my wife we got home, and she was like, "Can we go back next week?" And I said, "No, but I will tell you this: they do that fabric show twice a year. They do one in the middle of July, and they do one in the middle of January. And the next time I go, I'm going to January show, because I'll put on a coat pack around out there."
Yeah, much better than the heat and humidity that you talked about before. Now, when I first saw that dress, I had to do a double take because I'm looking at it, and then I realized that it's just strips of fabric or what I call brocade or trim, and they were all different. I thought, well, that's a unique idea. I've never seen anybody do that, but I like the ribbon that you're talking about, bows, even better.
Yeah, I just think that would be there was another outfit that I saw. And Milan is the fashion capital of the world. They hold that fabric show there one week, and then the following week is the Milan fashion show. And that's a huge deal. I didn't stay for the fashion show because that doesn't really apply with what I'm doing, but I needed the fabric. But there's just people on the street there are wearing these incredible fashions. And you get to see, and I saw this woman, I was sitting in a sidewalk cafe, and I saw this woman walk by, and she was wearing this outfit. And in my head, this is absolutely a summer outfit, but I'm going, oh man, this would make such an awesome, just a very awesome modern Mrs. Claus look. And so I wasn't going to jump out of and run out of the cafe and try to get in front of her and take her picture, because that'd be kind of strange. And, Americans traveling have a weird enough reputation as it is. So I studied that with my head and just burned those details in so that I get back here and I can work with my seamstresses to recreate what I saw there and do it in the Christmas fabrics and colors that I think it should be done in.
That's pretty cool. I want to jump back real quick and address the trivia. We're having trouble with another, what I thought was going to be a very simple question. Mike Hutchins, your first and third titles are correct. The one in the middle that you have is wrong according to what we have. So look at that one more time and see if you can come up with a third one, or anybody else that might be able to get the correct three answers. And I see that Spangle has joined in to watch. I guess he got an hour of sleep and he's back up again because he does that a lot. But good to have you watching, Spangle.
Thanks for being on there. I hope you made it safe. Did you find your way where you were going?
I guess he'll let you know. Okay, Bill. Now you mentioned the new cashmere. How does that compare to the one that you previously used?
Well, it will be very, very similar, just lighter in weight.
Lighter in weight.
Yeah. Excuse me just a second. I swallowed something that went down a little hard.
You okay? You need a drink?
Well, I think it was the drink that caused it.
What you got in that glass, Bill?
I mean, some good old Dr. Pepper made from real cane sugar.
Yeah, that'll do it for sure. It's the cane sugar that gets you. It goes down in lumps.
Yeah, so, big slug of carbonated liquid hit my gut, and it was like, no, I don't think so. So,
all right, well, moving on.
Anyway, yeah, it was. So the idea is that most of the wools and wool blends that I see other makers out there doing their suits out of are like anywhere from 25 to 40 ounces per square yard. Well, dude, that's just like way too heavy, because you walk in and I had this happen to me when I was in Los Angeles in the fabric district, and I walk in, talk about what I'm looking for. Oh, you want this Melton fabric? And they come over and pull it out. It's going to be 45 ounces a square yard. That Santa suit would weigh a ton, and it would not be. And it would, they're deep winter northern Canadian style coats. Well, we as Santas, we're about trying to offload that heat, not retain it. And that's why I use these natural fiber fabrics, and why, going with this, you want the lightest fabric that you can get that still has that look and the body and the feel of an outdoor coat. I mean, I could get a 4-ounce fabric, but then it would lay on you like a t-shirt. You don't want that. Yeah,
that wouldn't look good.
So so what I have found, through years of experimenting with this stuff, is that when I first started making cashmere Santa suits, the first couple of years, 2018, 2019, the suits that were available in that time frame were made out of an 18 to 19 ounce cashmere. And then I was able to find this 13 ounce. Well, that was, 40% improvement. And now I'm trying to improve it down to that 10 ounce range, which is not something that you can get off any shelf anywhere. I'm literally going to have it made for me.
That's pretty cool. So, I guess let's go ahead and move along, and let's talk about, how about if you share the story that was highlighted on one of our local North Texas ABC affiliated Channel 8 that is about a single mom titled Christmas Miracle. And
Sure.
all thanks to the DeSoto Rotary Club. You want to kind of set that up? I've got a video that we can play.
Well, yeah, but that was kind of a. I guess in a little while I'm going to talk about. We're going to be doing a raffle a little later this year. We're going to be doing that. We'll be doing that up in Michigan to support a Christmas charity.
Yes.
And my Rotary Club, have we in the last several years we have really adopted. Every year we will adopt a specific Christmas charity, Christmas project to perform or to help out. And the way this started was that my performance Santa Performer website here in Dallas is called Santa Claus DFW. And the setup on this is that this lady had lost her job and lost her house, and she had a single mom with 3 kids. And they moved. They were living in a house over in Cedar Hill that it was a vacant house that a friend of theirs owned that let them stay there. And she reached out, and she didn't have any way of providing Christmas for her kids. And so what she did was she reached out in desperation, reached out to Santa Claus to provide Christmas for her kids. And I got that email, and I took it to the Rotary Club of DeSoto, and I read the email to them, and then I kind of looked out on the group because they will generally go along with most of the crazy stuff I come up with. But I said, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to get those kids everything on their list. And they all got behind it, and then a bunch of us actually showed up on Christmas Eve with and Channel 8 WFAA News here in Dallas was there covering this thing. So that's the setup for the video that you're going to see that's called A Christmas Miracle.
Okay. You sent me a video of it, but the audio was really bad. So what I'm going to have to do is share my screen, pick that up from the WFAA site, and play it that way. So give me just one moment.
You bet.
Yeah,
that's why I sent you the link, because it was a better video.
Yeah, it definitely is. The audio was just too low to hear it. Otherwise, share screen. Like window.
And this is Snisket. Snisket is a feral cat that has come here to be my shop cat.
Okay.
Well, looks like we done lost that video, so I'm gonna have to pull it up again, Bill. Hang on.
Okay. So anyway, we are in the process of selecting a charity for this year's our charity of choice, Christmas charity of choice, and the grand prize in this raffle will be one of my made to measure wool suits at a retail value of $2,130, and that'll be the grand prize for the raffle. There'll be a lot of other prizes as well, but that'll be the grand prize that we're going to raffle this thing off to sell, to help out a Christmas charity.
Yeah, I think I've got it. Let me see if we get this to play real quick. Screen one.
Bill, I have a question for our viewers. Do you happen to know what your schedule and where schools or what conventions you're going to be at this upcoming year, so people will know where to find you?
Sure. Later this year, and we'll talk about this after the video, we're going to have our very first Michigan Santa Expo in Midland, Michigan in the second week of October. It will be running concurrent as the Charles W. Howard Santa School. But the expo will start a day earlier. It'll start on Wednesday the 9th. And we've got 5,000 square foot of Santa vendors for that event. And you don't have to be a member. You don't have to be a student at the school to come to the expo. So if you happen to find yourself in the neighborhood, come on by.
Let me see if I get this to play, guys.
Sorry, Bob, I jumped ahead, didn't I?
No, it's all right. And then next year, the things that I know about that I've already signed, plan on attending, is that in the springtime I will be at Lone Stars, the Texas Lone Star Santas Roundup. I'll be in Gatlinburg for the Santa family reunion. I plan on being at the School of Santas in Branson in July. I would have been there this year, but that was just right on the heels of me coming back from Italy, and that wasn't working.
Not enough time for the jet lag to catch up. Huh.
Yeah, that's right. And I came back with that cold, so I was feeling pretty miserable still when I got back. And
Okay, here we go, guys.
okay.
What?
It's not on the screen down here. I don't know what you're doing, but
I'm sharing my screen right here.
did you push present down at the bottom?
Yes, baby. I push present right here. Share screen. Share screen. Gives me this window right here. Select window.
There's
Screen
nothing.
one right there.
Nothing
Allow.
showing up.
Try it
There we
again.
go. It's on now. Let me pull it up.
Okay.
No sound, Bob.
They're saying there was no sound.
Who was the Santa? He had a pretty good beard.
Well, that would be me.
You grow up pretty quick, don't you?
It happens fast.
I still hear it in the background.
Yeah, something back there.
Still running. I stopped sharing, but I forgot to stop the video. All right. Was y'all able to hear that at all?
No. But,
I don't know why all the sound was turned on, everything was turned up. I don't get it. So that's kind of one of the things about trying to share the screen, though. It don't work out very well.
yeah. I know.
Okay. Well, let's just go ahead and move along. And you talked about the Michigan Santa Expo a little bit before we tried to play that video. So what else can you add to that, Bill? You want to talk about the exclusive rate and
Well, yeah, the Holiday Inn there in Midland has a special for you have to call the hotel. Don't do your reservations at like holidayinn.com or Travelocity or anything. You call the hotel, and if you tell them you're with the Santa group, you get a rate of $104 a night. And geez, there's multiple vendors. There's also going to be photography set up for you can bring your Santa outfit and get still photos with the magic in it. Jessica Rosa is going to be there with a video set up, shooting these little Santa promotional videos that you can take home with you right there from the show. I mean, she shoot it and hand it over to you is what I understand on that. So that's going to be really cool, along with, with clothing, accessories, just all kinds of stuff for the Santa world. And a place that just hasn't been open for Santa vendors. So, come on up and have a great time. Have a great time. If you've never been to the Charles W. Howard Santa School, I highly recommend. As the world's oldest Santa school, it's almost a rite of passage in the professional Santa community to have attended the school. It's a great pep rally for Christmas.
So, is there a cost to be a vendor there, Bill? Or
yes, I mean, yes. There's I have multiple sizes of booths, starting at like a 10-foot by 10-foot booth, and it's $2.25 a square foot. So a 10-foot by 10-foot will be $225.
Okay, and they contact you if we have any vendors watching that would that might possibly want to be there, and you have spots left still.
Yeah, have them reach out to me, and my contact is all over my website. They can email me, call me. We'd be I would love to talk to you. The spaces are filling up fast.
And that's SantasTailors.com.
Yeah, Santas, SantasTailor.com.
Okay.
Those dates are October 9th through the 12th. And did you mention that the hotel is directly adjacent to across the highway?
Well, no, the hotel, the Santa Expo is in the meeting space, the convention space of that hotel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Charles W. Howard is actually right across the
Oh
highway.
no, the Charles W. Howard School is in multiple locations around the town. It's on Thursday, it's generally at the Midland Center for the Arts, which is kind of in the northern part of Midland. Mm-hmm. And then the Friday morning part of the school is at the Great Hall, which is way down in the south part of Midland. And then Friday afternoon is when everybody boards the school, not the school buses, but the buses to do the field trip. And that ends up with like dinner at Zender's in Frankenmuth and a visit to Bronner's Christmas store there. And so the buses thing. And then Saturday morning, you're out at Tom Vallant's construction company building wooden toys. And that's over in the western part of Midland. And then Saturday night, you're back at the Great Hall for the graduation dinner. So yeah, it's unlike any other school or convention or anything else that we do in this industry, because you're literally bouncing around all these different places.
All right, fantastic. I was just trying to set up where the hotel was adjacent to it.
So you're set up across the street from the host hotel for CW?
There is no host hotel for Charles Howard. They have a list of hotels that they say, here's a list of hotels.
Okay.
But there is no official host hotel for the C.W. Howard School.
Okay. I've never been, so I haven't
either. So that's right. I was.
Because it is very unique in the industry. There's nothing else out there like that. I had some friends that were staying down at the Spring Hill Suites, and some that were staying over at the other hotels and the Days Inn, and they're just all over town. But the Holiday Inn, I will say this: last year, even though I was staying at another hotel, I drove over to the Holiday Inn and had breakfast there, because their breakfast was better than the breakfast restaurants that I found that were open in Midland.
Well, that's due to the fact, I think, and this is just my experience of staying at the new style Holiday Inns. They're like the Holiday Inn Expresses as far as the way they look and look with their own Holiday Inn branding. But they have an actual restaurant, correct? Cook to order restaurant?
Yes. Holiday Inn Express has what we call a warming kitchen, where they have packaged food, they warm it up and put it out. Where the Holiday Inn, the full service Holiday, it's a restaurant.
Right.
inside the hotel.
Well, Bob, do you think we need to take a breather and take a drink and go to the little boy's room?
Well, I'm going to put a plea out real quick because I'm pulling my hair out with all this technology stuff that just drives me nuts. I worked about 3 hours trying to download that video from the news station so we wouldn't have the problem that we had tonight, right? Well, we still had
I feel your pain because I've wanted a copy of that video.
If anyone that's a techie out there that knows how to actually take videos off of YouTube or Facebook or a news site and able to download them, where you can put it into your video maker or your movie maker and do what you need to with it and then play it, please reach out to me somehow or another. Let me know what the trick is, because I tried everything under the sun for about 3 hours, as I said, trying to look at different sites, different plugins, different things, and I could not get nothing to work. So anyway, we're going to get this stuff figured out if it's the life of me. All right, everyone, stick around. We're going to take a quick breather, and we're going to run, do what you need to do real quick. We're going to play this Santa Claus video, and we love to watch it. Never get tired of it. We'll be right back.
Oh, hello there. Yes, of course, it's me, Santa Claus. Now, you may not believe this, but one of the questions I get asked the most is, well, not how do I do it all in one night? No, but where do I get all my things from? Yes, now, what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the finest things I have. My glorious gloves, all my knickknacks and trinkets and things. Yes, all the giveaways. Yes, for me to give to the children before the main event. Yes, if I see them in the streets, if they come and see me, I like to have something in my pocket I can treat them with. Yes, and there's one special place where I can find all these magical goods. And that is, of course, StuffForSanta.com. You should head there now and see what magical gifts you can find. Mrs. Claus, have you got my ice pad? Yes, log me on, I'm going to have a look. I shall see you there. StuffForSanta.com. Merry Christmas.
Okay, Scott, I didn't get a chance to talk to Spangle. Did he send anything with you for a special, or are we just not doing it tonight?
You might ask. I think he's on there. They're at the hotel. He didn't tell me anything in particular. He is wore out, Bob.
Yeah, I know he is. It's been Well,
let's do this. Let's do
Branson take a few days off and then take off to Michigan. It's tough.
And then now to Florida. But hey, let's do this. Let's do it. And what Spangle's going to send is going to be a mystery. Mystery.
All right, so whoever wins the trivia will get a mystery.
It'll be a mystery gift. Mystery.
Now, I hope it's not an SOS.
And so, okay. All right. Well, are we going? Let's read the question. Can we do that?
Yes. Let's go ahead and read it.
Okay. Did she put it up yet?
It's on the screen.
Edwin Gwynn as Kris Kringle in The Miracle on 34th Street is the role that really introduced him to America. Gwynn struggled for years before landing the part. What was the tongue twister's real name? What was Gwynn's that real birth date? Sorry. And how old was he when he started acting? How old was he when he landed the part as Chris?
We need full birth date. How old was he when he started his acting career, and how old was he when he landed that part in Miracle on 34th Street as Chris? Three answers there.
First birthday, how old was he when he started acting, and how old was he when he landed Chris, the part of Chris Kringle on Miracle on 34th Street? Tick tock, tick tock. We need that music, Bob.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to the second half here, as we always do. Santa's Tailor, Bill Dendy is with us tonight. It's been a crazy show already. Nothing's working right. Spangle had to bail out the last minute. Scott jumped in. It's been fun already, that's for sure. But let's go out and well, go ahead and ask the next question, then we'll do this after that.
What one thing can Christmas performers do during the holiday season to ensure that they take care of their wardrobe? That's for you, Bill.
Yeah. Hey, when you say take care of the wardrobe, there's such a huge range of what they're wearing. So, I mean, there are Santas that are wearing outfits that you can throw in the washing machine. If you're wearing one of my outfits, don't do that. Trust me, do not do that. But, you know, from a day-to-day wearing, you know, take that out, put it on a big wide hanger so it has a chance to air itself out. You know, one of the things that I work really, really hard with, as I kind of talked about earlier, was, you know, getting fabrics that are really breathable and that can offload and outgas that heat. So, you know, it's not at all uncommon that, you know, that I wear the suit for the entire season and I don't do anything to the suit itself. Now, I will say that my linen shirt, I wash those after each full day of wearing it. Sure. But I will wash the shirt. But I only have like 2 in the rotation, so I'm wearing one while the other one's in the hamper, and get that done. But the coat, the pants, all that, you know, it outgasses, so I'm not really involved in that. With people that are, if you're wearing something that's, you know, got a polyester satin lining in, just, you know, God help you, my heart goes out to you. Because you're going to be sweating. It's like wrapping yourself up in saran wrap. You're going to sweat and baste in your own juices, and that's going to, you know, kind of build some unpleasant odor after a bit. There's those old, those old, theater tricks of, you know, taking a vodka spray and spraying in there. And what that does is what we're really talking about there is you're using alcohol to kill bacteria, because that's what's causing the odor. And so anything that would be, you know, absolutely do not do bleach, never, ever. But, you know, something like that, or they used a vodka water mix like that. But you're looking for something that would kill bacteria. But the main thing is to hang it up and let it outgas, let it breathe and dry on its own. And that should be fine. You know, if you get something, you can spot clean. You know, one of the advantages of what we do here is that many of our garments that have fur on them have removable fur. So you can pull that fur off and send the jacket to a dry cleaner and then put the fur back on. And then if you do have something that damages, stains the fur, those are modular pieces that we can now replace. Used to be that when we started this a few years ago, if you have a suit from the 2018, 2019, even 2020 production, where it was all still absolutely bespoke, then we kind of have to have your jacket back to make that new fur for it. But once we started going in with our standard pattern standardizations, then like with the cuffs, we have, I think there's 3 or 4 different sizes for the cuffs, and then there's 3 or 4 different sizes for the band at the bottom of the hem band at the bottom of the jacket. So, you know, those are, if we know what your sizing is on the jacket, we can, you know, we say, oh, okay, well, this is the wrist, the cuff fur, this is the hem fur that goes with that jacket now. So.
Now, you speak of that, Bill. Ken Kringle writes, I met you at Northern Lights last year, and you just glanced at your website. It looks like your prices are lower. If so, is that due to the automation?
Well, it is. When you go to my website now, there's a tab at the top that says shop and then clothing. And in that clothing, it describes the difference between my bespoke line of production and the made to measure line of production. And the bespoke line's what we've done all along since the very beginning. The made to measure is where we bring in the technology. And so what I've done with that is that if you're ordering from the made to measure line, it's a flat 3% right off the top, less expensive than that same article would be on the bespoke line. Plus, you get free shipping and insurance on the made to measure line. So it really comes up to be about a 10% discount ordering on the made to measure line, and then you get it, you're getting it much, much faster. Where it gets interesting is somebody that then calls me and says, "Oh, well, Bill, I'd like to have a cola jacket and I'd like to have this embroidery done on it." And I'm going, "Well, right now the embroidery is only available on the bespoke line. It's not available on the custom made to measure, but I'm working on that. It's just not in place yet." But so right now it's like, how much would that be? And I said, well, number one, you lose about that 10% discount. So you're talking about another $220 just in your lost discounts. And then the price of the embroidery at $45. So it's like, I could put that reindeer on it, but it's going to cost you like $260, $280. Do you really want it? But I do have customers that say, yes, I absolutely want to do that. And one of the more common ones is to do on the right sleeve, we do like a Christmas tree down on the lower part of the forearm and either a wreath or a leaping reindeer on the upper part. And then I do a border with metallic gold thread and gold filled beads around that. And then on the left-hand sleeve, I do something totally different. And it's kind of a fringe with gold beads thing on that. And it's my interpretation of the Tim Allen jacket from the first Santa Claus movie. It's not a copy, but it's my interpretation of that design.
Yeah. Now the embroidery work that you speak of, that has to be done before the material, the lining and all that kind of stuff is put in. So
that's right. It gets done at the point that goes on. We've cut the sleeve, the outer part of the sleeve, and we embroidery that, and then that goes back into the production and has the lining attached and the garment assembled. So, like I said, we're working on bringing that in on our made to measure line, but it's not there yet. Maybe next year.
you also
I
mentioned,
feel pretty
Bill,
confident.
you also mentioned insurance. Is it just standard insurance that covers all, or is there different stipulations to it?
Well, the insurance that I referred to there was shipping insurance.
Okay, gotcha.
It was shipping insurance, so that if it gets lost in transit, and matter of fact, I had a loss this week. Fortunately, it wasn't a Santa suit, but it was a roll of fabric that I was having shipped to my production facility, and it actually got lost back in June. And last week they said, "Hey, you've had in our inventory on order, you show this roll of fabric as coming to us, but it never got here." And I went back into this was UPS, and I went into their website and got with my tracking number and showed that it got scanned into this depot in Arizona at like 12:30 a.m. and then they scanned it again at 6:30 in the morning, and then it just disappeared. It never got delivered. It was never scanned again, and so I've got a claim in with them, but I had to reorder the fabric, etc. So these things happen. I had somebody sending me a suit that was lost at a FedEx warehouse about 3 miles from my house. Same sort of thing. It got scanned in, never scanned out.
Well, I have a question, Bill.
Okay.
The new fabric that you've got, well, let me back up. In the video from the television station, what was the fabric that was on your jacket?
Okay, that was my first generation of the 18-ounce cashmere that I had on that robe. Yes.
Okay. Well, I noticed you took the jacket off. Were you hot?
Well, no, that's kind of a standard thing. When I wear that long suit with the long robe and the waistcoat and the shirt, I walk in the door and make my big entrance, and then the next things out of my mouth are, my mom and daddy taught me to take my hat and coat off when I come in the house.
Right.
And I will pull out and I will peel out of that robe and take the hat off and hand it to the biggest, closest kid and ask them to put it on my chair for me. And then I do my appearance wearing my linen shirt and my waistcoat.
Okay. I just didn't know because there were so many people, and there are a lot of times if I'm in a home and there are that many people and I'm usually dying.
Yes, and I get you, and wearing that outfit and doing that strategy is just part of the temperature control thing, because that is a fairly, with that 18-ounce fabric, which is much heavier than my current. And believe me, I really kind of like to have one of my current editions, but I keep wearing that other one because I made that thing in like 2015. And I'm still wearing it, trying to figure out how long I can wear it before people at the conventions and stuff seeing it on a mannequin think that it's used, because they come in and still think it's new. And at least once a day somebody there will ask me, how long does one of your suits last? And I go, I have no idea. I've been wearing that one since 2015, and it goes to pretty much every appearance I do. You tell me how long it's going to last. I don't know.
Right.
Every time I go out the door, it's a field test.
Right.
Right.
Shall we get to these questions, Bill?
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to read them, Bob, or you want me to?
I'll start with the first one. Santa Doug says, how do you incorporate traditional Christmas themes and elements into your designs while ensuring each piece is unique and fashionable?
Okay. That's a great question. Everybody has their design influences. And so I'll talk about mine for a second. I have been an 18th century historical reenactor since I was a teenager. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Colonial Williamsburg. They're my people. And that era in clothing history was called the Georgian era. And I've always just really, really liked that era and the way that the clothing looked and felt when you wore it. And my first Santa suit that I made was back in 2001. I made this classic Santa suit with fur up the front. I designed and made that suit in one night. I mean but I wore it for 15 years. And then when I had a gig in Germany, there were several gigs, but I would go to Germany for like 9 years and work as Santa in Germany and then come back over here. But when I decided I wanted to be a professional Santa here, I stopped and designed the clothing that I'm wearing now, because I'd learned a lot of lessons from wearing that old suit. And when I went back into this, I said, I really, really like that Georgian era of clothing, and I think that would be a very suitable style for Santa. So one of those things that is just one of my strange picadillos that just drives me nuts is when I look online and I see him, the Santa, and he's posting his pictures up on Facebook, and he's really proud, and he's wearing this outfit where the bottom of the vest is cut in a 1760s style. The top of the vest is cut in a late 1800s style, and he's wearing a Renaissance shirt from 400 years before, and it's all brand new. I'm sorry. That's just kind of, I kind of designed my stuff to stay within this bubble of that era, but incorporating the fabrics like the brocades that I used with the candy canes and the Christmas, that wasn't available in that day and time. It just wasn't. But that's the influences that I have to design and build outfits that are holistic in their appearance. How about that?
You want to catch the second half of Doug's question
Sure.
there?
What are some of the challenges you face in creating and maintaining such an iconic and detailed costumes for Santa and Mrs. Claus? And what is your favorite piece that you have made?
Oh God, the challenges. Wow, that is you know, that is it. I find that the challenge of working through a design in my head, how's that going to work? And here's a great example of that. And because I have one right here. Last fall, when I was dealing with my production stuff, I had some issues with with production methodology for a Santa hat. Dude, you'd think this would be really simple, right? And I realized that what I was ending up doing, I was making this thing that looked like this Rube Goldberg mousetrap game, trying to solve all these little problems. So I just cleared the table and sat down and redesigned the Santa hat from the ground up, saying this is the way I think it should be, not the way it is. And so what I came up with was this looks like a regular Santa hat. On the exterior, the features are that number one, the fur is removable, just like it is on my Cola jackets. And I could talk about that now. I've got the fur on there, and the fur is removable and replaceable. But also, I'm doing these ribbons on there, like the Santa crowns that Santa Tim's making. That I can, this next year I'll be offering those to where you can pull this fur off and slap that other on there and have a totally different look out of the hat. On the other end of the hat, where the palm is both removable and adjustable. And so the palm can be taken off along with the fur to clean the hat. But when I say adjustable, you can wear it like this with the palm right up there against the end of the hat, or you can pull it down and wear it like that on a string. Your choice. You can adjust the length to whatever you want. And that's on the exterior of the hat. On the interior of the hat, and this is the front of the hat on the interior, there's a triple layer of bamboo terry cloth in there as a sweatband. And that terry cloth will hold 4 times the amount of moisture that cotton terry cloth will hold. And it wicks the moisture away from your skin rather than trapping it against your skin the way cotton will. And it's removable via Velcro, so you can buy extra sweatbands so that if you do sweat one out during the day, you can pull it out and slap a fresh one in really, really fast. And that's in the front of the hat. In the back of the hat, let's see if we can see this right here. There is an elastic band with a Velcro attachment for size adjustment. Now, this is a medium hat, and it's set up for me. And as you can see at the back of the hat, there is this air channel back there, and that creates a vent for the hot air to be able to escape out the back. So this hat's really comfortable to wear indoors full time now, where I used to take my old one off because it was hot. Remember I said I come in the door, I take my hat and coat off. Now I take my coat off and I leave the hat on all the time for the event. So there's an example of how I have worked through not only styling but engineering to make this stuff the best there is. Hey, I haven't seen a copy of the hat yet, but as soon as you do, let me know. Yeah. I like watching the invitations.
So would you say your hat's your favorite piece that you've made?
Well, today it is. I've got a waistcoat that I made, and I may just pull a picture of it and hold it up in front of my camera. That I made this waistcoat that out of this material that is milled. That the mill for this is in Ukraine, and the fabric by itself, just the fabric to make this thing, cost me over $200 a yard, and it takes 3 yards to make a waistcoat because the patterns are so big, and to get it matched up where the left side matches the right side, and it's all, and the pockets and the belt loops and all that stuff are matched in the pattern like that. And there is that waistcoat.
Hold on just a minute, Bill. Let her pull you up full screen.
Oh, sorry. I was looking for
Just like, there you go.
Right. From ecumenical Santa, and dude, I love that waistcoat.
Yeah,
But it's just this absolutely gorgeous gold. But man, oh man, is that damn thing expensive.
yeah, it sure is pretty.
Yep.
Tim Shelton says, "Sound like you got more beautiful clothing on its way." That's his comment.
I do. And hey, here's something else I'm going to throw out, and I haven't mentioned this before, but as I transition from the 2023 models of the suit to the 2024 models, which is the current production stuff, I've got a bunch of suits here that were the stuff that not worn, but the stuff that was shown on mannequins at the conventions and shows. And if you are a Santa that is around, let's just say 6'2", 6'3", in that 280 to 320 pound class, reach out to me, because I may have something that would fit you, and I'm offering that stuff at between 25 and 40% off. The 2023 models are 40% off, but I have some transition stuff as I was working on the 24s. It was like, okay, well, this has most of the stuff that we incorporated 24, but not all of it, and that's at 25% off. So I have several outfits like that would be ready to go like right now.
All right, Scott, to go catch the next one.
Yeah. Did you see Ken Kringles?
Yes,
I'm a WMS systems engineer by day, and I've installed robots for picking drones for cycle counting and automated floor scrubbers, so I can appreciate everything you've done, and he loves it.
Oh, well, that's cool. Thank you.
Also, Ken says, "I met you at Northern Lights," and I read that one already, so that one was the first one I read. Kane Smith says, "Sound or no sound, that's a fantastic video that makes my eyes leak. Love it." Maybe we can go ahead on the Tuesday Night Live group and post the one that has the weaker video sound to it, because we can get it put up without any problem. And you'll just have to have a quiet room to listen to it, but you can hear it. And it's,
well, Bob, you could just post the link, and they could click on it.
Go there. That's a better idea.
They could go watch it. They could go watch the presentation themselves.
We'll do that. Hi, Scott.
Is it? Are we down to Jerry?
Well, Bill Coates says the same thing. The message was clear even without the sound, and now Jerry.
And how do you pronounce his last name? Kyle?
Kyle.
Yeah, Jerry Kyle says, what do you make? Okay.
I know what the question
is. What do the made to measure suits start at? I couldn't get that out.
Yeah, for the 100% wool suit with removable fur, a jacket, hat, and pants is $2,130 all in, including shipping and insurance. The only additional cost is if you're unfortunate enough that you're in Texas and I have to tag you for sales tax. But unless you got a Louisiana address, I can ship it too.
All right,
Jerry also asked, what about a short Santas?
Yes, that's great, because my sizing range in that 495 sizes, in the height range on a suit, I offer from a short, regular, tall, and extra tall. And an extra tall is like a 6 foot. An extra tall would be like a 6'5" Santa. A tall 6'2". That's me. By the way, in my line, I'm a medium tall. I am 6'2", 285, and that makes me a medium. Bob, you are in that double extra small category, maybe even triple extra small. You don't know what your chest measurement is, do you?
I don't.
But anyway, the short is the center line on the short is for a Santa that's like 5'6", 5'7", and then the regulars are in that 5'11" range, tall in the 6'2" range, and the extra tall 6'5". So yeah, we're covering that.
Bill, AJ Bayless has asked, can someone ask Bill if I'm 6'5" and around 499 pounds, would that still fit him?
Well, I can make a suit to fit you, but it wouldn't. The suits that I have in stock right here that were made for me won't.
That's what he's asking.
Yeah, the suits that I have that I was showing at the conventions, No, that's not going to fit. That won't fit you, AJ. I remember you. I remember how big you are, but I can absolutely make that suit to fit you because I can easily do up to a 72-inch chest. And have you ever seen a 72-inch chest, Santa? Dude, there's one in San Diego. And the guy called me, and I'm driving down a highway in Dallas, and he goes, "Well, I'm a really big Santa." And I go, "Well, I deal with a lot of big Santas." And he goes, "You don't understand. I'm a really big Santa." And I said, "Well, how big is big?" And he said, "I'm 7'1" and I weigh 650 pounds. And I said, "Dude, you're a big Santa." And he sent me pictures. And I go, "Holy." And then he said he had a 29-inch head, and I started laughing. I go, "I got a Santa hat sitting on the seat beside me right now that'll fit you."
We do have a Santa in South Texas, Delbert Sampson. I don't know if you know him or not, Bill, but he's a pretty good sized fellow too. He's not quite as big as the one you're talking about in Southern California, but he's a big fella.
Yep.
Delbert Sampson.
So yeah, we expanded that out when I started this project of doing this computerized patterning. One of the things that I was told all the way across the industry that no clothing designer ever had the database to start with of their customers that I had, because by that time I had already measured well over 400 Santas, and I kept all that in a database. And so we were able to establish that bell curve and really kind of look at it, how far do we take it out this way? How far do we take it down that way in terms of setting up the grading, which is called the term for adjusting for size is called grading. And so we grade the patterns. The two terms that I had to learn in this thing quickly was grading and marking. And grading is adjusting for size, and marking is how the pattern lays out on the fabric to get to use the least amount of fabric to make the most amount of suit.
Biggest bang for the buck.
That's it, and then those patterns, when they talk about, they said, "Oh, the pattern yield is this," and it's like, "Oh, okay, well that means that the yield means this is how much of this fabric that it takes to make this jacket." But if I switch fabrics, like the yield on my wool suit is different than the yield on my cashmere, because the fabrics, the cashmere fabric's 1.5 inches wider. So it uses a fraction less fabric.
So Robert Woods, our newest addition to our TNL family network production family. I agree with you, Rob. Makes me feel tiny, he says. I think you and I would be midgets up beside a 7 foot, 300, 400 pound gentleman. I feel tiny when I'm standing next to AJ. AJ is a big man. He is a big fellow
too, and like 350 pounds. And I guarantee you, I feel like a shrimp next to AJ.
AJ's a big fellow.
Leon McBride was 6'5", and the first time I walked up to him, it was like, "Oh man," I'm standing here with my head all cocked up, looking at this Santa.
You can imagine how I felt in 2018 at the Denver ISE with me and you and Leon standing in your booth, and I'm standing there looking up at you like this.
I remember that conversation.
That was fun. Boy, one thing I'm really going to miss with Leon is every time he would see me, without saying a word first, he'd go, "I want your hair." Yeah. And, I told him when the first time he told me that, I don't remember if it was in Denver or if we was at the Lone Star Santa Roundup, but I told him, I said, "Isn't it ironic, Leon, that all those years you wore the clown cap that made you look bald and you had plenty of hair, and you become a Santa, and now you're bald?" And he would just shake his head at me like, "Oh, you're so right."
Well,
yeah, there's a really fun Leon story that he shared about coming to Dallas as an advance crew with Barnum and Bailey. Mm-hmm. And they brought him out to North Park Mall, and they were going to do this raffle drawing for a brand new Ford F-150 pickup. And Leon goes, well, man, I don't know anything about these raffles. They just brought me out here and they got this thing. And there was all these people around the mall and they had this big drum of tickets and they were spinning that drum and they opened it up. And he said, and I reached in there and grabbed that ticket and I pulled it out and I said, and the winner is John Smith at this address and this telephone number. And then he took the ticket and tossed it back in the drum. And he said the whole place went absolutely silent. And they had to scoot him out the back before there was a riot.
From SOS, AJ was at SOS, and AJ standing next to Jeff McMullen. Now there's a Jeff McMullen is tiny compared to AJ.
He's shorter than I am by several inches. So, though I know Bill wasn't at Branson this year, Bill, but you missed, and you may have seen the picture. AJ got a photo shoot done with Jessica, and he had his beard set on, his hair set on in costume, and he looked so darn good, man. I was blown away because when I first glanced at him, I didn't recognize him. Yeah. And then I looked at him again and I recognized his regular standard glasses. And I told him and his mom, Connie, I said, you need to get those round glasses you got from Spangle, put them on for your shoot. She said, well, I got them in my purse, but he can't see with the readers on. He has to have his prescription. He didn't want to trip or anything. So, but he put those round glasses on and went over and did his photo shoot with Jessica. And it was really a great feeling to see AJ fixed up as Santa, and he did a fantastic job. Good job, AJ.
Yeah, good job.
All right, guys, we've run pretty long tonight already, so let's go ahead and run our Talbot Insurance Service video real quick, and we'll be right back. Santa, auto, home, business, and more. If you need insurance, Larry Talbot loves to bundle. His phone number is on that flyer that you saw there in the commercial. Give him a call if you're interested in getting performance insurance or insurance for your home, like I say, auto. He does it all. Larry Talbot over in Georgia, we want to appreciate and thank him for helping us out here at TNL.
And one plug I'll put in right quick for Larry's outfit is that the Santa insurance that he offers has coverage for the Santa outfits as well. If they get damaged, lost, or stolen, and that's to cover a very expensive investment.
Yes, and
I highly recommend that.
He was the first one to start doing that, and he told the story on the TNL show when he was on a couple of years back, and even last year when he was on. But he talks about the fact that he got to looking at those policies, those riders, and realized that they wasn't covering that kind of stuff. And him being in the insurance business, he went to the source, said, "Hey, this is not covering this, and this." And they said, "Well, really and truly, it doesn't. But you blah 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 and nada, and yada yada yada." And that's when he said, "Well, hey, I'm capable of fixing this," and he did. And so again, if you need insurance, he's got some really good prices and his coverage is excellent. So
can you get these two questions?
I got it, Angie. What Bill? Ray Bradshaw asked, what size is a 5'10", 5'10" and 250-pound suit?
Yeah, there's not enough information there. I need to know what your neck size, your chest size, your belly size, your sleeve length, and the measurement from the high pointed shoulder to the bottom of the belt loop on the belt when it's been properly placed on you to be able to do that. And that's why we do these video measuring sessions. That typically when somebody orders the suit from me, the next step in the process is we do a FaceTime call, and the Santa needs a few things. They need two helpers, one to measure and one to hold the phone so I can supervise. They need a measuring tape, and they need a Santa belt. Doesn't have to be a nice one, just a belt, because we're going to put it on. And then there's 3 separate measurements we take once the belt's on them in the right place to make sure that everything's done for the outfit. So
Ray said, I'll be in touch.
yep, that'd be
Yeah.
great. And the price
Right.
range, it starts at this and goes to whatever your imagination wants. The most expensive suit that I have built to date was a little over $7,000, and man, it was truly special. It was a what I would refer to as a woodland Santa suit with brown wool fur and brown cashmere.
Ray's up in Denton, so you been in DeSoto, he can if worst comes to worst, get with you. Now you had told me in Memphis when we was there at the ISC recently that with this new setup that you've got with all the measure to fit and all this stuff, how many combinations did you tell me that you can do?
Yeah, well, since the jacket is available in 495 sizes, the pants about 180 sizes, and 5 sizes for the hat. So in total, that comes up to well over 400,000 possible combinations. Now, I know that nobody's going to buy a triple extra large, extra tall jacket to wear with a triple extra small pair of pants, but that would be included in that range of possibilities.
And if he does, he's got a problem.
Don't count that possibility out.
Never say never.
Okay, guys, let's go on and jump in here and reveal tonight's trivia answers. During the film's development period, the project went through a variety of titles before landing on Miracle on 34th Street. Now, I had a different answer for the third one than everyone else has, so we're just going to call it good. And the answers I had was The Big Heart, It's Only Human, at Meet Me at Dawn, and my source on where I got that at, let me give that to you real quick, was yahoo.com, Lifestyle, Miracle 34th Street, little known facts. But again, there was some different answers for the third one there, so we're going to take the first one that had the first 2 right, and that is?
It's going to be Carl White.
Carl White wins that one. Your name goes in the hat for the School of Santa's Branson 2025, Carl. Be glad to have you back there again. And, of course, it's a twofer because your name also goes into the hat for the North Pole Cornerstones 2025 drawing. So good luck on both those, my friend. All right, Edmund Gwynn as Kris Kringle in Miracle on 34th Street is a role that really introduced him to America. Gwynn struggled for years before landing the part. What was Gwynn's full birth date? How old was he when he started acting? And how old was he when he landed the part as Kris? First answer is born September 26, 1877. Wow. Some accounts say he was 17. Some accounts say he was 18 when he became an actor. And his father actually shunned him and disowned him because that was one of his father's biggest pet peeves was he didn't care for actors and thought it was a senseless waste of Edmund's time. So anyway, he struggled for years and years and years, but when he finally landed that one big role that we all know him by, he was 70 years old. Unbelievable, right? Spent a lifetime trying to make it and finally did. Winner?
Carl White.
Carl White gets that one too. Hey, brother, you get something from Tupper. School of Santa. Well, speaking of SOS, I mentioned the term SOS earlier, but that was kind of a play on words.
We'll let Daniel know, and he'll surprise you with something. That's
right. We'll get you a surprise over there. All right, Bill, any last words before we go, my friend?
Just Merry Christmas. And guys, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, pick up the phone and give me a call. I love being able to talk with and mentor Santas and help them in their, through this thing. So
let's give a shameless plug for your Thursday night once a month get together.
Oh, that's right. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, on the first Thursday of the month, we have this meeting here at my shop that's called Sleigh Masters, and it's kind of like Toastmasters for Santas to come and work on performance skills and learn about the developments and things that are going on out in the great world of Santas.
Well, maybe
And Mrs. Claus. And we have several Mrs. Clauses that come as well.
maybe
Because they're becoming more and more integral to our appearances.
Maybe Bill, and Bob and I need to slide over there one Thursday night, one first of the months, and shoot a little segment on you.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And he's invited me over to do a presentation on mall Santa. So
yeah, that's
maybe
right.
we make it happen, Scott.
Because a lot of the folks that come are fairly new Santas, and that they're there to learn and develop and enhance their craft. And I try to expose them to to areas of this stuff that are beyond my experience level. I've never been a mall Santa, and that's why I asked Bob, come and talk to us.
Yep.
The meeting that we had this last week, we had a special guest that was here from Nairobi, Kenya, and was talking about being an American Santa in Kenya, and the things that and with his project and his charity there, and the great work that they're doing there, working with the Kenyan Santas.
Yeah,
wow.
You brought him to one of our eat meet, our Texas State Santa eat meets, and he spoke there briefly to the crowd, and he's got an interesting story.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, you got any closing thoughts, brother?
Well, what a great show, Bob. And Bill, thanks for being here. And we want to thank everybody for coming and being on and watching the show tonight, and especially you, Bill, for being our featured guest. Thanks again for being here.
Well, thank you guys for inviting me back. I mean, this is always just a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. And I'm it really warms my heart when I see so many people in the chat that are now not only customers but friends of mine that have come through there, and people that I know and just think very highly of. So guys, keep the faith. Let's keep going, and let's have a great Christmas season.
That's right, and we always catch you when we're out remote. If it's the ISC or if it's Gatlinburg or wherever it may be, we always try to get you a word or two with you and catch up on what's new with Santa's Tailor. And we'll continue to do that as time goes on.
Please do. Thank you.
Yeah, join us next week for our next TNL episode, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And can't forget to catch the next Monday show with Bob and Randall, Monday at 3 p.m.
Well, we need to cross that and say Randall and Mike, because remember, we will be in Florida.
That's true.
And Mike's going to have a special segment, puppeteering. So be fun. Check them out on Monday. I'll pop in for a moment, but they're going to take care of the show while we're out.
Who knows? We may all pop in, Bob. You never know what we'll do when we're on the road. It's staycation, and we might as well share it with everybody.
That's right. And we mentioned in the beginning of the show, the Kringle Brothers, just Kringle Time, can be seen every Wednesday at 7 Central, 8 Eastern on the Kringle Brothers Facebook page, YouTube page, and Tuesday Night Live Facebook page. And I don't know. We just know the Santa Mail Fellowship, Magic Fellowship group. Check her out on Thursdays. Not sure what's going to be following there. There's some things going on there, so we'll just kind of skip over that and say, tune in. Kick up your heels, join in the fun 4 days a week, all powered by the TNL Network Productions. Thank you to School of Santa, StuffForSanta.com, Holiday Photo Magic, and of course, Santa's Magical Fellowship Group, as well as North Pole Cornerstones. Tell everyone good night, Scott.
Good night, Scott.
All right, Bill. Good night, brother. Remember to join us next Tuesday Night Live each week, 7 p.m. Central, same Claus time, same Claus channel. Count your blessings, not your sorrows. Have a blessed week. Never stop learning. Hope to see you back here next Tuesday. And check out Mike's special presentation and Randall on Monday. It's going to be fun. See everyone soon.
Bill, stay around. We'll see you in the green room. Bye-bye.